Hey, welcome back to another Gadget Report. Let's talk gadgets. Let's go. So, today I am going to talk about something that has become um, relatively popular amongst the world of aviation and among travelers. But today I'm going to put it up for discussion, um, and we'll see what our viewers think or not. So I'm talking about how long is too long for a flight. Is it pleasant? Is Do we actually sacrifice pleasant for convenient? What is your opinion? Let's talk about how long is too long for a flight. Come with me. Let's talk gadgets. So, um, recently, let's say in the last 5-10 years, um, airlines or some airlines started to operate very long flights. They call more direct flights to certain destinations. Um, they choose a hub somewhere, sometimes in the Middle East, sometimes um, somewhere else, and then they operate these flights, which, for example, and I'm taking, for example, Australia as a good example of that. Um, Sometimes means 14 plus hour flights uh, to some destination, and then, for example, if you go to Europe, another 8 or 9 hour flight to get to your destination, depending on which country in Europe are you flying to. So uh, of course, some might say, and there's the argument, it's more convenient because it gets you there faster. Yes, but um, would that be faster? Would that, it may be convenient, but is that pleasant? Is that pleasant to be inside an aircraft for 14 hours or 14 plus hours, where you can't move? Yeah, you can argue that you can get out of your seat and go to the toilet or stretch your legs in the corridors. It's not the same thing as breathing some fresh air, going outside, stop for a while, and have your feet on the ground. And by no means, I love gadgets, as you know. I love flying, I love planes, but I would say that a 14 plus hour flight, it would be tiring for me, and I am only 48 years old, or I'm just 48 years old. I can imagine for example, elderly passengers, such long haul flights, would that be the best option, for example, for your elderly parents or grandparents? Would that be an enjoyable trip for them to be stuck in an aircraft for 14 plus hours just to take away a few hours from their trip? Quite frankly, and again, this is my personal opinion, I think sometimes uh, having a stop and having 2 or 3 hours to walk around, breathe some fresh air, um, have a drink, have some water, which it's usually what I have when I'm flying. I know that a lot of people love their alcohol in flight. I never drink alcohol when I fly. I usually stick to water. I don't even drink juice. I have coffee and my water. That's all I have. But of course, that's a personal choice, and you can do whatever you please. But I always like to make a stopover, have a little bit of time on the ground, go to the toilet, um, a more spacious toilet, walk around, see some fresh, breathe some fresh air, um, you know, uh, see some sunlight, because yeah, you can see it from your window. If it's a night flight, you won't, but um, it's a different atmosphere, it's a different environment, and I believe it is good for you and for your body to have that little time and then go again. So I would say if you divide your trip, and you have, for example, from Australia, a little stopover, let's say in Singapore, which is a very pleasant airport where there's lots of things to do, and they have those beautiful gardens that you can actually visit, and they worthwhile. They're so good. And then one stopover in airport somewhere in Europe, if you're maybe your final destination, or maybe you still have to do, for example, if you go to Portugal, you would still have to do another trip, because I don't think there's direct flights from Singapore directly to Lisbon, for example. I don't think that is an option. So this is what I think. I think having that stop, yes, it might add a few hours to your trip in total, but I believe those little hours are going to be really minimal when you make the count. It will mean very little, and in the end, it will get you a little bit more relaxed than if you have to be stuck in the aircraft for so long. And then you're still going to have to stop in that hub. And if the flight connection is not that good, you still have to wait a lot of hours in that hub. So in the end, there you go. It's your hours that you possibly save on the flight consumed in that airport, but you already had that very long flight, very unpleasant one. So I'm going to put a poll. Today. I'm going to launch a poll. It's going to be here on YouTube. It's going to be on Instagram and on Facebook, and LinkedIn. Actually, not Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. I think I am able to do it here on YouTube. If I'm not, please go to my Instagram or LinkedIn and vote for this poll. What do you think? Do you think these more direct flights are the best? So they are the best because they are convenient, so you prefer them, or you sacrifice the convenience for that rest that you need. So go to my poll, I'll put it there. I'll ask that in the poll, and then um, you know, we'll see. It will go for the entire month of March, and then at the beginning of April, I will announce the results. So let's see what you think. Would you like these longer flights, or you prefer to cut the trip in installments, sort of, and have a little bit more rest? Let's see what you think. So I hope you like this video. I hope it make you think what is the best, if these flights are really that wonder that a lot of people talk about. Of course, if you are a business person, and if you really need to be on a place at a certain time, it might be worth it to go for these flights, because it gets you there and you just need to be there, and that's it. Of course, if you are traveling first class or business class, that won't be a problem because you have plenty of room to rest. But for the regular traveler that is just going to go on a holiday, um, would that be really the best option for elderly people, for example, for people with children? Would that be really the best option to put a child through a 14+ hour flight, where they're going to be extremely tired, extremely grumpy? I honestly think it's not the best option. But I want to hear from you. So, as I said, I'm going to run a poll and I would like to know what you think. Do you prefer a long flight and a short trip, or a shorter flight or shorter flights with a few stops but a longer overall trip? What do you say? It will run, as I said, for all the month of March, and then in the beginning of April, I'll be telling you what you think. But if you have any questions, please leave me a comment below. Or if you have a suggestion of something that you would like me to talk about in our gadget reports, please feel free to suggest as well. you know, uh, Put a like on the video and subscribe the channel with a little click on the bell so you get a notification of a new gadget report every week. As I said before, a lot of you just come watch my content, but you don't put a like or you don't subscribe the channel. It's totally free, and if you really like my content, that will really help me grow my channel and have my content presented to more people. So if you like my content, put a like, share with your friends, and subscribe the channel, and you get a notification of a new insider every week. Before I go, I would like to thank you all for watching and see you next week. Bye.